War crime. Ukraine war. Russian soldier Vadim Shishimarin jailed for life over war crime. This person? Oh my god, they really are digging recruits out of the cradle, aren't they? Look at this. Jesus, he's got a baby face. It says here he's 21, and you know what? I don't believe them. I think that's fake. I don't even see any stubble on him. What, did he shave 2 seconds before? I don't think this kid can even grow facial hair. I don't think this kid is 21. They wrote it backwards. He's 12. Yeah, they were dyslexic. Whoops. Captured soldier was convicted of killing Oleksandr Shelipov, 62, in the northeast village of Chupakiva on the 28th of February. He admitted shooting Mr. Shelipov, but said he had been acting on orders and asked forgiveness of the man's widow. Huh. So, oh wait, Russian tank commander. Okay, so he wasn't just a regular... So this is the first Russian soldier to be tried for war crimes. And for the crime of killing one civilian, they'll be jailed for life. Good. More to follow. Tank commander at 21. Guys, it's the Russian military, okay? They need their tank commanders. You know, listen, if their tank commander is of legal age and not blind, then they're already like shooting above par for the Russian military. Played a lot of World of Tanks, I guess. I unironically feel like a lot of experience playing World of Tanks or War Thunder would make you a better tank commander than if you hadn't. Not by a lot, but maybe by like a little bit. I feel like it would give you just a little bit. It would give you the spirit of a tank commander. You know, maybe all of the actual logistical stuff wouldn't transfer over, but it'd give you the heart of a winner. That's what I'm talking about. War Thunder Stream Win? It's a shit game by Russian developers who make the Russian tanks overpowered because they're nationalists. I don't think he deserves it. Keep reading. Imposing the life sentence, Judge Sergei Agafonov had carried out a criminal order so to the higher rank. Oh, they said that Shishimarin had. That's not true, Lamau. It's perfectly true. The only crime committed. Wait, why does he not... At the time of the killing, he and other soldiers traveling in a car they had seized after their convoy came under attack. When they spotted Mr. Shelipov, he was speaking on the phone. Shishimarin told the court he said he was told to shoot him with an assault rifle. His defense lawyer told the court Shishimarin had only fired after twice refusing to carry out the order to shoot, and that the only 1 out of 3 to 4 rounds had hit the man. He says Shishimarin fired the rounds out of fear for his own safety, and he questioned whether the defendant had intended to kill. He refused 2 times. Unfortunately, this is one of those just following orders type things. If you, we're talking about like an incredibly unjustified invasion. Under these circumstances, like every soldier is going to be like, yeah, I was just following orders. Like the issue is that like, sorry, like if you're a Russian soldier and you enter Ukraine's territory with lethal intent, you, in the eyes of the Ukrainian court, like you're signing your life away. And I think that's a fair standard too. That's pretty reasonable. You know, that's not to say it's not unfortunate. It is. I don't think this kid is like uniquely evil. In fact, given the fact that he initially refused to shoot twice, it's likely that he's probably a relatively morally upstanding soldier by Russian army standards at the very least. But that just isn't the world we live in, you know? Unfortunately, we live in a world right now where there's going to be like a massive, you know, like wave of war crime trials. And, you know, the standard has to be set. And who boy are the courts going to set it. It is unfortunate though. I don't think there's anything wrong with being sympathetic towards this kid, because I certainly am. But sympathy is not exoneration. Did Russia use conscription? Yes. How does it work? They just suspend the defense of just following orders, or is it more to it, or what? The just following orders thing is just not accepted for the most part as a defense in war crime trials. It's just like it's just not really considered a valid defense. Yeah, because the Nazis failed there. You want to know a funny little... I don't know how historically true this is. I don't actually know. But there's a little bit of a story that I like. Mother Night from Kurt Vonnegut, a very good author who you've probably read Slaughterhouse-Five from, but wrote a lot of other books. In my opinion, better books. Mother Night is one of the more serious ones. It's about an American spy who was in Germany during World War II. He wasn't even intending to be a spy. He was, I think, an artist or a playwright in Germany when Nazis took over, and American officials approached him and said, you know, hey, be a spy for us, you know. Be spy, please. And you know, you know, it's a whole book. But it's a cool premise for a story. Well, basically the whole story leads up to his spoilers for like a 50-year-old book. Not even 50, like 70-year-old book. It's a run up to his suicide. It's not a happy book, but he does, in the course of his time over in Germany, he befriends a number of Nazi officials. He becomes a propagandist for the Nazi government. As a spy, you know, he relays information with the privileges he's given as a propagandist, and he befriends Nazi officials. And in the book, he is even, I believe, one of the people who draws some of the anti-Semitic propaganda that's used by the Nazi government to smear Jewish people, you know. And he does it all, you know, he follows along. After the war ends, what's the name of the book? Mother Night. After the war ends, of course, being that he's a spy, you know, there aren't much in the way of official records proving that he was a spy, because that's, you know, kind of the point of being a spy. So he's tried for being a collaborator with the Nazi regime here in the United States. And he only gets exonerated when the U.S. government official who contacted him to begin with, to induce him into being a spy, you know, get him into it, you know, breaks his orders. Lamau, that's unrealistic. It's a book. This isn't a history book. It's not a history book. Um, the the guy who got him into it breaks orders and unveils that he was in fact like a spy collaborator. But anyway, the reason I'm getting through all this, the protagonist was at Nuremberg. One of the last things in the book is him writing on his conversation with one of the Nazi officials. It's a real Nazi official. The name was real. Though I don't, obviously the conversation wasn't, but essentially, he's having a conversation with this high up Nazi official, somebody who would have been, you know, having brunch with Hitler every day. And the Nazi is saying, you know, while in a prison cell at Nuremberg, yeah, I'm going to get out of this. Don't worry. Me and my legal team have crafted a flawless defense. And the protagonist of the story, who knows fully well that the Nazi is going to hang, says, "Oh, what is it? That you were just acting under orders and you did nothing of your own personal volition, but you felt like you were threatened by the presence of other officials, so you had no choice but to carry them out?" He just says that casually. And the Nazi in the cell with big round open eyes like scurries and looks back and forth before, you know, stammering up to the jail cell bars and going, "Have you been speaking with anyone? Have you been speaking with my lawyers? How do you know?" It actually was his defense. And then, of course, the defense fails, and that soldier, that Nazi, hangs himself before he's officially executed, following the trials. Um, anyway, I really like that bit in the book because, in a way, when you think about it, the defense, "we were just following orders," is such an obviously bad defense. Like, it's such a clearly, plainly, obviously bad defense. There's no there's no point at all to a war crimes trial if that's your excuse, because everyone's acting under orders. There's a overlapping and, you know, reciprocal chain of command that goes up to the highest levels of any government. You could pull that for basically anyone. Certainly not for leaders, you know. He was a leader. Well, anyway. In criminal law, it's a valid defense sometime, which is why I was confused about with the war crimes trial. In criminal law in the United States, as I understood it, it's a generally disregarded defense. It's possible that Ukraine is just going to throw it out the window because they feel as though sufficient opportunity has been given to defect by this point in time with the Russian soldiers. You know, with so many Russian soldiers defecting or just like running out of fuel and like stalling, you know, deliberately holding up the war effort on Russia's end. Maybe soldiers are defecting on both sides. The number of the number of defections from Ukraine's side has to be pretty minimal. Morale from Ukraine is very, 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 very high. They're also not doing conscription. They are preventing males of fighting age from leaving the country, which is kind of like half conscription, but it's not conscription, you know, full on. Uh, it's morally dicey, but they are being invaded. Do you have a favorite author? It probably would be Kurt Vonnegut. It's not I was under orders, but more if I didn't do X crime, I'd be killed by this person thing. Well, in that case, if you commit a crime because your life is being threatened, then you've been coerced. And in US law, at least, I know that usually gets you off the hook. I think the issue is that when it comes to wartime, the problem is putting yourself in that position to begin with, you know? Like, up everything that led up till that point. Also, would you be shot or would you be, like, arrested? And, you know. Look, I'm not a legal expert.